The next rule is angle, angle, side, right? AAS, congruence theorem, right? We again have our two triangles, right? ABC, oops, and DEF. DEF. And what this says is when we have any two angles, and an outside side, that's on the outside of those two angles, if all of those are congruent, then our triangles as well are congruent. So let's look at that and see what that means. So let's again say that angle A and angle D are congruent to each other, okay? Right? Angle A and angle D. Then we have our second angle. This time let's look at angle B and angle E. Let's say they're congruent to each other. And then let's say that this side out here on the outside, let's say those are congruent to each other as well, right? They're the same length, whatever that length may be. They stop at the same spot, right? They start at the same spot and they end at the same spot, right? Well, if those three things are all congruent to each other, then triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, right? We can say that the size of this triangle is the same as the size of this triangle. That's because, right, there's only a certain amount of space, again, that can lie in between these two angles. And as well here, right, these are coming, this length, the third length of your triangle is only going to go so far before it runs into the third angle that's being created out here by angle C. Right? And again, this guy, there's only so much space that's going to lie in between angles D and E, however far away they are. And then if we extend angle D at the base here, right, it's eventually going to run into the end of side E, which would then create that angle, F over here. So when we have, though, two angles and an outside side, our triangles are congruent, which is interesting because it's similar to the angle side angle theorem where we had two angles, right, and the side in between being congruent to each other. This time we have two angles and the side on the outside. So it looks to me like when we have two angles, we might always have congruent sides, congruent triangles. Very interesting.